There are several other module types that we haven't covered yet. You may want to use some of these for your website, so let's go back to the Module Manager and check them out. The Module Manager lists all the modules currently published on our system, but we want to see all the different module types that are available. To do this, we'll click New. All the different module types that are available on the system are on this list. In the next chapter, we'll be covering polls, banners, and searches. We've already covered breadcrumbs, custom HTML, logins, menus, and syndication. There are a few more modules that I'd like to point out that could be very useful for your website. Let's take a look at the latest news module. This module looks at your database and finds the most recently added content items. It doesn't matter whether or not these were published on the front page or what section or category they're in. Joomla just looks at the most recent ones. It lists links to them so that people can go and click on them. Let's take a look at the Most Read module. The Most Read module displays the most popular content on your website. Joomla keeps track of every hit on every content item, and then the Most Read module simply displays a list of these content items. Now let's take a look at Random Image. Random Image is a module that you can use to display an image on every page of your website. You point it to a directory, and then it picks an image at random to display on the page. Each time you go to a new page, another image pops up. This can provide another point of interest for your visitors. Finally, we'll take a look at Who's Online. The Who's Online module shows who else is logged into your website. There are other modules that I haven't mentioned here that might be worth trying for your website. The only way you can find out is to add them to your website and see what they do. Users really like to see how deep they are within a site so they can navigate back to previous pages. Joomla uses breadcrumb modules to show users where they are within a site. In this video, we'll show you how to set up a breadcrumbs module. First, let's go to the Module Manager. The Module Manager shows all of the modules that are currently published on the website. Let's click New. From this list, select Breadcrumbs. It's on the left. To set up the Breadcrumbs module, we need to give it a title, hide that title, and then position the Breadcrumbs module. We want to hide the title because we only want to show the breadcrumbs, but we have to give it a title so that when we go back to the back end, we can find it later. We're going to give the Breadcrumbs module a title so that we can find it in the back end, but we're going to hide this from the front end. So type in breadcrumbs in the title box. Then click No on Show Title. This will hide it from the front-end users, but it will allow us to find it in the back end. Before we save this, we want to position the breadcrumbs in the breadcrumb module position we saw in an earlier video. Now click Apply. Let's go back to the front end and click Refresh. You'll notice that now we're displaying Home at the top of the page. This is the beginning of the breadcrumbs. If we click on Seasonal Specialties, it'll show seasonal specialties at the end of the breadcrumb. Let's click on Ingredients We Use. Now it shows Home, Ingredients We Use. We can get back to the home page by clicking Home. But let's go back to Ingredients We Use. Now let's click on Ingredient Types. Now we have 3 items on the breadcrumb. We have Ingredient Types, the page we're on, Ingredients We Use, the parent menu item, that's something we covered in an earlier video, and we have the home page. If we click on Ingredients We Use, it takes us back to the Ingredients We Use page. There are a few things we can do to configure the breadcrumbs, so let's go back to the back end. First of all, we can turn off the first Home link. Select No on Show Home and click Apply. When we go back to the front end and click Refresh, Home goes away, and we just see the first menu item. If we click Ingredient Types, we see Ingredients We Use and Ingredient Types, but no Home. Let's go back to the back end. We're going to add Home back. If we wanted to, we could change Home to say something else. Also, we can change the text that's separating the breadcrumbs. Now let's click Apply. Go back to the front end and click Refresh. Now it says Fresh and Local instead of Home, and we're using a single greater than sign instead of two for the separator. Breadcrumbs is another module that Joomla provides that's ready to go to add to your site. Using the breadcrumbs module can help users know where they are within the site and easily return to earlier pages. Joomla generates an RSS feed of everything marked as front page. RSS, or really simple syndication, is a way of letting your users subscribe to your content. When you post a new article, they will be able to read it without having to visit your site every day. In this video, we'll use the syndicate module to provide our visitors with a convenient link to our feed. Let's go to the Module Manager. The Module Manager shows all the modules that are published in our system. Let's click New to add our Syndicate module. The Syndicate module is listed on the bottom right. We'll add a title for the module, and then we'll click Apply. Let's go back to the front end and click Refresh. Scroll to the bottom of the screen. You'll notice that we have a module with feed entries here. Let's go back to the back end. Notice that we have feeds and feed entries. What we'd really like to do is change the text of the link to just say RSS. We can also change the format of our feed. Currently it's set to RSS 2.0. You could also change it to Atom. Unless you have a reason to change it to Atom, just leave it as RSS 2.0. Click Apply. And let's go back to the front end. Now click Refresh. Scroll down to the bottom. Now we have the Feeds module with a link to RSS. If we click on this link, Firefox shows us a list of all the items in our feed. These two items are the only items that are marked for the front page, so they're the only ones that will be in the feed. Joomla provides a variety of useful modules ready to add to your site. From here, users will be able to subscribe to your feed. The user can select one of these websites to use for subscribing to your feed, and then they can click the Subscribe Now button. This will take them to the website, and it'll handle it from there. Joomla provides a variety of useful modules ready for you to add to your site. The Syndicate module provides a link to your RSS feed that people can use to subscribe to your site without having to visit it every day. The Syndicate module provides a convenient link to your RSS feed. Visitors can use your RSS feed to keep themselves up to date with content on your website without them having to visit your website every day.